Tonight, get your Richmond wrap-up on NASCAR Victory Lane All Access Kurt Busch on Fox Sports Net. Follow one of NASCAR's young stars through this rather damp weekend on NASCAR Victory Lane All Access Kurt Busch tonight at 9 your local time on Fox Sports Net.
And I'll tell you, he's wearing the side of his car out. He's been in the fence about 3 times off the 2 over there.
One lap and we'll go back to racing. The 55 of Bobby Hamilton goes to the tail end of the line for pitting too soon.
I tell you, a kid having a great run. Casey Atwood in that 7 car, he's up to 10th, started 29th. New crew chief this week, Tony Furr, moved over from the 25 car, Jerry Nadeau. I believe that's going to make a difference in this race car.
I believe it is too. He's pretty good crew chief.
By demand from the stands, folks, we're going to crank it up on this restart for you. So let it rip. Considered by many to be the pre-race favorite, Ricky Rudd, first out of the pits, is now trying to take off from this field. He led 26 laps at Rockingham, 29 laps at Texas, and here on his home track, running out front.
One of the things that we always have to watch, and it still holds true here, when a fast car like Ward Burton's gets back in traffic, it seems like they don't work as good, and all of a sudden the captain gets out front, clean air. I don't care, we're only on a 3/4 mile track, but we're doing 140 mile an hour. Clean air makes a difference.
Right now, he's trapped behind Matt Kenseth that's still 1 lap down. He has a good race car, just trying to get back up there, hopefully catch a caution and get back on the lead lap after all those problems before we restarted this race today.
A lot of determination on his part. You know, it'd been easy to throw your hands up and say, man, we're 3 laps down here to whatever it was from the get-go. But he's driving the wheels off of it, trying to get back in the race.
Well, you look at Jimmy Spencer in the 41 car. That's his Martinsville car. When we were at Martinsville about a month ago, he was 3 laps down, made 2 of those 3 laps up. A little easier to do sometimes on a short track.
Well, and the other thing, Larry, is when you're a lap down, you go all the way to the front of the line. It's like starting on the pole. So that helps you get those laps back. But then when you get them back, you got to restart in 40th place, and that makes a big difference.
A big knot here, including our point leader, Sterling Marlin, and Dale Jarrett, the 88, who led earlier.
Yeah, that 02 car, Hermie, is kind of holding these cats up. And
ooh, 3 wide.
He is in harm's way, I got to tell you. And that's harm in that 48 car.
Is he going to try it again? 3 wide in the back? No. Wisely.
Boy, Dale Jarrett in the 88 car, he drove that thing in there. Oh, and it gets into John Andretti, and he hit the outside wall.
And there goes
Bobby Labonte.
And Hut Strickland misses it.
Gets by. Wow.
That all started because Jarrett, here comes the 17 car, going to get a lap back, but that all started because
he's not going to get it back. No, because Ricky Rudd's the leader. 28's the leader.
Yeah, Rudd was just way out front of him.
But that all started because Dale Jarrett overdrove the entrance of turn 3, trying to get back into the groove. He got into John Andretti, and Bobby Labonte in the 18 had nowhere to go.
Yep. There's just no, coming off of turn 4 here, there's just not enough grip up high. You get out of that preferred line.
Jarrett's moving around in his car okay, but it is stuck in the mud, literally, from last night's rains. Bobby Labonte going to have a little extra rear spoiler there to work with.
See what the replay shows us, but basically what happens, see Dale Jarrett way up high here. Now he picks up a lot of stuff on his tires. He's trying to get down. Bobby Labonte, he spins around because he sees Dale coming down the racetrack. Hut Strickland sneaking by there.
And John Andretti became the bank shot as Jarrett came back down the racetrack.
See, he picks up all kind of debris on his tires.
Tony Stewart in the 20 just gets by.
And I'm not sure if maybe Bobby Labonte got booted by somebody behind him who couldn't check up in time.
Right, Bobby checked up. Whoever was maybe behind him.
Yeah,
It looked like Nemechek in the 10 car, subbing
Exactly
for Johnny
what
Benson. Chain reaction once again.
On board from Kenny Schrader's front bumper cam. Matt?
Well, Bobby Labonte reporting in that his car is leaking something. First they thought it was fuel. Then Derek Jennings climbed underneath the car and said it looks like it's now leaking rear end grease. They're going to pull the car behind the wall.
That's Dale Jarrett's second car this weekend. He crashed the first practice on Friday. That's his backup car.
They're going to haul Jarrett out of the really wet grass there in the tri-oval and back to the garage to see if they can make repairs. Fifth caution of this race. We've completed 173 laps. Welcome back to Richmond, which has not been kind to Bobby Labonte today. Caught up in Dale Jarrett's spin. Here's another look at it. Both cars in the garage.
Kind of some more of that Gibbs luck this year. You know, these two teams are just snake bit.
Now watch Kurt Busch trying to snake his way through here. What about there on the outside?
Back it down, back it down, back it down. You gotta open the wall. Stay right there. Come on, come on. Good job. Caution's out. Come on. Clear all around.
It all happens in the blink of an eye. Dick Berggren.
Well, Bobby Labonte climbed out of his car, very discouraged race driver, and no wonder. They've got the frame machine here to try to straighten out the back end. Big puddle of oil underneath it. What happened out there, Bobby?
Looked like the 88 car got up out of the groove and came back down. He and the 43 car got together, and I seen all this happening from way back there, and I guess the 10 car didn't see it happening, so he got me a little bit in the left rear and got me turned around. I just stood in the gas trying to do a 360 there, trying to get away from the 88 because I seen him coming down the racetrack and it didn't work out.
Well, we're glad you're okay. We're getting ready for green flag. Mike?
Well, that's a pretty accurate account of what happened.
Very little damage to Nemechek's car as a result of that little bump, but that's all it takes. And we're back under green at lap 178.
Just for the people that wasn't tuned in Friday night or last night, the reason Joe Nemechek is in the 10 car, Johnny Benson, who normally drives that car, was in a wreck in the Busch race and broke a rib, so Joe Nemechek started this car last night.
And I have to defend Joe, because when you're back in the pack like he was and something starts to unfold in front of you, somebody's going to check up a little quicker than you do because it hadn't gotten to you yet. That's what happened to him.
Ricky Rudd out front of Ward Burton, Jimmy Spencer, Jeff Green, and Ryan Newman. Here's Steve Burns.
Mike, Ryan Newman's trying to get out of a slump. 3 of the last 4 races, he's finished 40th or worse. But here today, the car is tight at the beginning of the run. Then it starts to loosen up a little bit. They raise the track bar 1 round on their last stop. To Matt Yoakum.
Steve, on Tony Stewart's last run before his last pit stop, the first 2/3 the car was running very well. Then the last third, the car went back to tight, just like it was last night. They made a wedge adjustment, but the big hindrance for Stewart was actually when he tried to make his exit from pit road. He was blocked in by Dale Earnhardt Jr. He lost a lot of time, which equated to 5 spots on the racetrack. He's trying to move back up, and so is Rusty Wallace.
Yeah, Rusty and Jeff Gordon are kind of going at it hot and heavy there. Jeff cut Rusty off over there on coming off of 2, and Rusty drove it down into 3, got under him, and is going to make the pass.
And they have Bobby Hamilton, the 55 car, 2 laps down. He's in the mix. Looks like he's going to take the position away from Rusty, trying to get back up to the front where maybe he can make those laps up.
Yeah, you know, we were talking about his sway bar, and I just couldn't imagine his sway bar was off that car, because we were watching it, and it was still sitting real flat going around the track. It would have been raring up if it had a bar loose.
Whatever was wrong with Hamilton's car, and they still aren't sure what it was, it appears they've got it fixed.
Cars are like that. They got demons in them, you know. They'll just go crazy on you. You'll never know why. Kurt Busch rubbing the right side up against the wall here again. He thinks he's at Darlington.
On that last caution, since we'd only ran 7 laps, we had about 4 of our league lap cars that pitted: Steve Park, Jerry Nadeau, Hutch Strickland, and Elliott Sadler.
Boy, Rusty and Jeff Gordon, I'm telling you, They're after each other.
Yeah, this is war right here.
Yeah, this is like, do you remember that one race here when the last restart?
This is a battle for 7th. You look right back there and see that 7 car of Casey Atwood. And something we do need to mention, Tony Furr, that we talked about taking over the crew chief position. He had to leave the racetrack. Our condolences to him and his wife. Tony's mother-in-law passed away, so he had to unexpectedly leave the racetrack here.
Remember last year here, guys? Come down and they had a restart, and Rusty gets under Gordon, sends him up the hill. After the race, he didn't really seem like he appreciated that much, and I think they've renewed that rivalry. And that's not
You demand.
That's not you demand. He's not asking for directions, I can tell you that.
So today, same stage, different play. We'll see how they write the final act to this one.
Well, it's a little early, but I think that'll refresh both of them's memory. They're both having flashbacks as we speak.
Ricky Rudd's got a view of Ward Burton looming ever closer in his rear view.
About 3 car lengths back there to Ward.
Can't say enough about that 22 car. I mean, that thing is awesome.
Meanwhile, Rudd's teammate Dale Jarrett sits in the garage. Here's Dick.
He's still got his helmet on, Mike, but it's going to be a long time before Dale Jarrett gets back on the racetrack, if at all, today. The left front corner of this car is severely torn up. You see the sheet metal pushed in, but much more important than that, he was hit hard enough that the left front upper control arm broke completely through. They're going to have to replace that. They're in the process of taking the hub off. Hood is off the car. There are a total of 11 mechanics working on this thing right now. Some in the left front corner, some in the right rear. This car is very, very badly damaged. I don't know whether this is worse or the car he started this weekend is worse. He's now wrecked 2 cars this weekend. A weekend for DJ.
He came in here 13th in points, Dick, and he could fall out of the top 20.
And has always had good runs here, especially since joining the 88 car in 1996. In 12 races, 9 of those races he has finished 4th or better. Always runs good here.
10 laps to halfway. Ricky Rudd and Ward Burton are just about identical on the stopwatch right now.
They are by far the 2 fastest cars. They're running 2160s. Jimmy Spencer, Jeff Green are in their 2180s. But yeah, for the last 5 laps, their laps have mirrored each other on the stopwatch.
And normally here, to tell you how good the sealer is and what the tires are doing, we usually race in the middle 22s here. 2220 to 2240, 50 along in there, and we're running 21.5s today.
But what I like about this racetrack and this tire that Goodyear has, Rudd's last lap was 2169 on lap 191. The fastest lap he ran was on 189, 2159. Good tire, good racetrack.
Oh, trouble down here, there goes.